Nation!
My name is Eunice.
My name is Wango.
Shiro Madenge.
Bagari.
4 moms sharing our motherhood experiences. Welcome to Mum Nation.
Anyway, we're not listening. Hi guys, welcome again to Mum Nation. My name is Wango.
Wagari. Eunice.
Shiro.
And we have a guest.
Are we ready?
Yes, the truth is, we like our daddies. So, dear daddy,
Yes.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Kieni Githinji, and Wangari Madenge is my wife, and I'm very happy to be here to answer questions. So you can ask me all the questions.
Are you ready?
Wow.
Are you ready?
We'll answer as much as we can. We're
What
not
you want?
Yeah, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing?
That's what we are here about. So, while I work on Instagram, ask. We have a daddy in the house, and he's ready to get all of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming. We're really privileged that you took the time to join us. I know us we are dope, so we'll wait for that call.
In fact, I was waiting for the call to come because I was just hanging out at home doing.
We know you've been waiting for the past 1 year.
Past 1 year.
We are dope like that. But we also appreciate your behind the scenes support. Like we're really privileged as Mum Nation. You may just see the 4 of us here most of the time, but uko nyuma, we have wisdom, we have people who've gone ahead of us, and Kieni is one of them. So thank you, Sana.
Karibu.
Our topic today is, our first topic with you today is the birds and the bees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Part 2. So we did one with just us moms. We also, we didn't know how to handle some gadgets that we don't have. Or some things that, So we have a lot of questions where, what's the role of the dad? What's the role of the dad in this conversation? If your daughter is having periods, should dads be frontline in that communication?
To get involved.
Yes. For me, I had my first sex talk with my dad.
Oh.
Not at school, not my mother. It was Mr.
really?
Shamba. Yes.
Oh.
And I really appreciate it because I kind of feel like our moms, or traditionally, it came from don't do that, It's
If you
rules.
touch, you get pregnant.
Yes, it was rules and regulations.
Touch a boy, become pregnant.
At school, it was also rules and regulations.
Yeah.
With my dad, it was more from those phone, those days we had landlines, and then someone calls, and then they hear my dad has said hello, and then they hang up quickly.
Yeah.
So that I remember that was how our conversation started. I was probably 12.
You start being told, tell the boys not to hang up.
Yes, I don't want to see you with someone at the gate. If they're really respectable, let them come in.
Yeah.
And like for me, talking to boys at the gate, like you'd get beaten
About that.
about talking at the gate. But in the house, in the sitting room, you're cooking for them. Welcome. But at the gates, we are not having those, And that for me was done by my dad. So welcome. That's around the conversation we're having today about boys. Their wet dreams. So we know them scientifically, but we've never experienced. Sasa sababu kona experience. Asante kwa kuja.
I mean, you see the whole topic, like now I was brought up a young Kikuyu man, right? So we have our culture, and so you go through your initiation, and it normally takes place around the time when you're starting your adolescent period. So which is at about from some guys it starts as early as 10, and some guys it's as late as 14. So when you're going through that, what normally happens is that you're pushed more towards your uncles, because me as a father to our kids, I will probably do it for Shiro's kids or your kids, and just because I think they'll be even easier to talk to when they're talking to somebody who's not really their parent, and that was the logic behind it. So we talked about everything. You start having broad shoulders, your voice is breaking, pubic hair, So you start discussing this whole business, and then of course now there's a circumcision that has to be done, and that is actually in Kikuyu tradition. It's actually a maternal thing. The whole business is run by your mom's side. So I ended up going to my uncle's house. And he's a guy who actually talked to me about all this stuff, you know. And we had a young guy who was taking care of us. He was a bit older. So, you know, him is there for us to ask any question about sex, about these wet dreams that you start having. Are they normal?
Yeah, what are those, by the way?
So now,
Because
A wet dream is basically, you see now your body has started generating testosterone and you're creating semen, right? So ideally, as a grown-up, you'll have sex. So the build-up will, you'll use it up. But for now, a young person who is energetic and, you know, he's really got all these hormones running all over the place, because he's not having sex, the body has a way of now, you know, removing that extra semen and, you know, the whole thing. So that's why you ejaculate. So you'll have a dream which is erotic, and that's where now we need to talk to the boys, so that now they don't think they're going mad. You know, you're sleeping.
randomly like that, the child is
Yeah,
sleeping
random.
and they just...
Yeah. And the thing comes and you start seeing, you'll start realizing, oh, there are chicks who have breasts, nini. You start looking at a thigh. Yeah, it's actually that. Or you can even remember a scene from a movie.
Oh, wow.
So that's how it works. And you see, there's nothing wrong with it because your body is just trying to
It's
expel
natural.
the extra semen and, you know, all this stuff which is being generated by your body. Remember now the testosterone is high.
So, were you explained to before, or this is after the wet dreams have started or before?
Well, you see what happened is that this is the way my mom did it. We had a chat. And that chat with mom was a chat about going to another chat. So she said, on Saturday, I'm taking you and your brother to Uncle Nani's house. Uncle Nani's house is getting a counselor. And they're going to run through, you know, we are supposed to ask everything. Drugs, alcohol, sex, girls. All these things. Because when you're young, you see now you're growing up. You start realizing that, hey, chicks are actually hot. They're not bad people. You can have a conversation with a girl. Because growing up in school, it's like we used to be separated.
We were.
So even at break time, lunch time, boys shika the ball, they run down the field. The girls are doing kati, they're doing their own stuff. But now, as you grow older, standard 7, standard 8, standard 6, when you have that puberty discussion in home science, that's when now you start realizing that, you know, these are not the enemy. This is actually somebody I can work with. You even create friendships. I think for me, around standard 6 is when I had now my first girl who is a friend. And that's how it picked up. But the way my mom did it, we went for this counseling session and we asked all the questions. Because the first one was, is this normal?
So now going back to that wet dream, is it a one-off? Is it continuous until now you get to the point at which
You can have sex.
You can have sex.
Yeah.
You see, what's going to happen is that there's quite a number of things. So when it starts, obviously, it's going to be, it's a dream. So you can't really stop a dream. And your body is doing this so that it can, you know, get rid of this extra testosterone and all this stuff. So that you don't end up with blue balls and all that stuff. So, you know now, let me tell you. No, they don't really turn blue. It's just that thing of, have you ever seen a guy who's just irritable?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's...
That's a problem. That's a problem.
So a guy's got enough testosterone built up in him. You know, he's just an irritable guy.
Oh my gosh.
So your body is doing that to just expel this, and also for your reproductive system to start functioning, because now it is developed. You remember, this is the last thing to develop.
Yeah.
All the other stuff has developed.
Yeah.
Now, because you're going through this puberty and adolescent period, now this is your reproductive organ, just like how chicks start getting their period. So, yeah, so it's a thing. It's a
process.
It's not at year one off. It's going to be there. The other thing that's going to come up is, you know, there's going to be a bit of masturbation and, you know.
But you
depending
know,
on
the way you were describing it, I was like, isn't that like...
No, but this is happening in your dream.
Yeah, no, but it is. I mean, it will...
No, it's
it's happening in your
it's
dream.
not.
You're not doing anything.
You're not
about
doing
it.
anything. You're sleeping.
You wake up in the morning.
You wake up and you find you have
wet.
ejaculated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is not at your mechanical thing that you are working on it. It's a dream, kabsa. It's a dream. You can even feel those things inside there.
Feel what?
You know, like how you dream, Baka, you think it's real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you can see the boobs.
The
you can see
visualizing, the whole thing, you're in that thing. It's a dream.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's one of those things about nature, you know. And then you see what happens is that depending on when people become sexually active, and the problem in Kenya is that unlike most of our neighbors, our Rwanda, Uganda guys, we don't really talk about sex. So you find in UG and whatever, by the time somebody is 16, I mean, this is something they understand. You've told them about safe sex, Obviously, we don't want kids to rush into it. Yeah, even for guys. Because you see now, as soon as somebody starts being sexually active, then these things of the wet dreams and whatever, they'll reduce. And then you'll find this person will grow faster. Have you ever seen a guy and you can say, this guy is really mature? It's the way he's
exposed to the
the information, the way he's thinking. Elder brothers, you see, us guys were born in 2 batches. So the first 2 bros are older, and then now there's a big gap, then me and my late brother. So the advantage was that we could at least ask them. And you know, they'll even tell you, don't worry about it. In fact, go and play rugby. Get rid of all that extra testosterone in your system.
Extra strength.
And
so when extra strength having wet
Google
dreams,
human.
do you remember?
At what age does it approximately?
Yeah.
For me, I think I was around 11. Standard 5 there, standard 6.
It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Can you take our children, please?
Yeah.
You see, Jiro.
Yeah, it was around standard 5, and it's important that we talk to them so that they don't.
It didn't shock them.
Exactly.
You know, the one now you're like, hey, what is this? Is it normal? Am I sick? And then sometimes they don't even want to say that it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So like now, I know like for boys, when they wake up with a hard on. So now,
and that one goes on until you become impotent. That's why you'll see.
It's all for life.
Yeah, it's for life. You know, that's why you see in the morning your husband or partner is telling you,
wake up, go visit.
That one is for long term. That one.
So is it something that they need to be, because you know it happens, my son, you know, it happens to him, and I don't know whether he's curious about it, because I'm like, now should I explain it to him?
What an erection
Does
is.
he say anything?
He doesn't
No,
say
you
anything,
see.
he's just judged by it.
No, by the way, he must be judged.
He gets
Yeah.
very excited.
He must be judged.
Look
He's
at
like,
that.
he's like, what?
In fact,
You're
but
like,
you see, the
what?
good thing is that actually you should be happy that now you know the system is working. That's the first step.
Yeah.
So,
But how do you explain it to them?
To
though?
their, but yeah.
no, you just tell him,
You
look,
explain.
you don't.
Do you need to explain?
What did we have?
They need to appreciate that it's actually normal.
It's
Yeah,
not-
that
what
there's
you need to
nothing
tell
wrong
them-
with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to tell them. You see, the first thing is it's normal.
Yeah.
Don't get worried about it. The complication will be now when the wet dreams come and there's this fluid which is coming out, which is not urine.
For my 4-year-old, he keeps coming to me in the morning. Mom, look, my sister is swollen.
That time you're like,
So excited. I'm like, yes, it's because you are sleeping.
that's where you're supposed to wake up.
Done.
Okay,
That's
guys,
what's supposed to happen.
give me a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, kinetics, tunakuana. Tunakumulika. Mikala Saseni Fiti. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Nicey2747, Lynn Bianca, Miss Maria, Kyoko Francis. Thanks all of you guys for being online. If you have questions for our daddy,
Please go ahead.
please just text over here. Hata we kinetics tunajua kuna questions.
The topic of today.
Yeah.
The topic of today is the birds and the bees. What that means is basically periods. First of all, where did that name come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the birds and the
period,
Define that one.
yeah, periods and
Wet
and
dreams,
wet
just
dreams.
development in our
Puberty.
children.
Puberty.
Yeah.
Amazing. Puberty conversations for our children. So the daddy was telling us a bit of history, and then now we're going to get into the how we parent. So that's the second phase, and I think we've been coming up to it on. As a dad, what's your role in this conversation for a boy? Let's start for a girl, because for a boy is basically you're telling him it's normal, which you've already told us, and you know what the experience is like. What's the role of a dad for puberty for a daughter?
You see, first of all, you have to realize something. And I've noticed this because obviously we have 2 boys, 1 girl. The girl is closer to me. Warero will tell me anything. And she'll even tell me if something has happened in school. It's like she's coming to report to me. So I think it will be easier for me to have that conversation with her. And I'll just tell her, look, you're going to get into a certain point in your life. You'll start getting breasts. You'll start looking a bit more voluptuous, and things will start changing in your life. And you'll start having this thing that happens every 21 days or 24 days, whatever it is. So that now she's aware that I'm going into that part of my life. So I can have that conversation. And I think fathers should do that, especially with their daughters, because they tend to have a closer relationship. And even the time when we have disagreements with her, you can see she feels she feels more hurt than if she had it with her mom. Because I think to girls, they kind of think, dad is the one who's going to be the person who takes care of me, who secures me, who does. So it becomes easier to have that conversation. So we should push towards that. For the boys, it's more or less straightforward. It's you go and tell them, guys, now there's going to be stuff happening. First of all, in a couple of months, you guys are going...
Stuff.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to go through the circumcision thing, you have to start informing them. Then you have to start telling them, you're going to start having these dreams, which are going to be so real, and you'll wake up in the morning and you'll have ejaculated. So the first question is, what is an ejaculation? Yeah. Now that is where we're going to start now going to biology, the science to explain. Why is your body
Page
doing
36.
this? Yeah. Why is it? It's basically just to, by the way, page 36. So it's just that thing of, you need to, for them to understand the science, then they don't have to ask too many questions. And then you try and make it as fun as possible. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but you need to make it fun.
So let me ask him. So at the point, so you're explaining to them, and they're having all this visual relation now towards how girls are looking. They are now heightened.
You can actually appreciate a girl.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna happen.
So to what extent does that now lead to
sex?
No, sex, yes, but I'm looking at it from a perspective of porn, where now I'm looking at these movie magazines and start looking for
masturbation,
for sites that I'm just I want to experience this again.
Yeah. Is that how they get there?
Yeah, the guy has these urges. I don't know how it works for chicks, but I know for guys, as soon as you're going through that puberty part, and your body has started producing semen, and you have become this young man. You have basically moved from a boy to a young man.
This is after circumcision.
Or even just before, even without the circumcision. Because now you see your body is it's natural.
Yeah.
So you'll find at that point, obviously, they'll be experimenting with porn and, masturbation. Because the one thing about it is that the first time you ejaculate, you're like, oh, that felt so nice. Can I do it again? And again? That's why you see guys are measuring you in the morning. It's a good feeling. I think you can also say the same thing about an orgasm. Just like, so it's that thing. You're having that orgasm all the time. You're a young guy. So you'll find even that's why guys, you'll find kids, they ken each other. One kamkono is bigger than the other one.
because of...
He's there all day.
Oh my gosh.
And you see, but you get to grow out of it.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
It's a phase.
It's a phase. Because
it's a phase.
It's like a phase. Because
But there are people who do not get out of that phase.
Yeah, it can. The thing about masturbation is that it can become it can make you selfish.
Yes.
Because you know how to please yourself, but you don't care about... Now, when you start having sex, you don't care about your partner. You, as long as you get off, you're like...
So are you saying my son...
Which is true. Most guys will tell you, by the way, the first round, that one is normally mine. The second one, we can negotiate about you. Because that one is normally at the door. It's just right there. So...
This conversation is becoming our next topic.
Yeah.
However,
No, but
I have a question.
Yeah.
Circumcision.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, and when should, okay, for the people who actually practice it,
Yeah.
when should we circumcise? Because if I'm finding a trend these days where people at birth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any information.
Well, for me, first of all, I must say, and for, I think you work in that field of reproductive health, it's obviously been proven to be very good for HIV prevention, STDs, so it's a good thing to do. When you want to do it is now up to you. Most people are going with the at birth. Because of the way that I want the kids to understand what is happening.
Because of culture.
Because of the culture. When now he's transforming into this person who I can no longer cane. I have to have a conversation with him. I cannot parent him the same way. Because he's a young adult. He's a young person now. So you explain to him now what is happening to you is you're going into this next phase of life. You'll probably end up in high school. After high school, you go to uni. And then the next phase in your life is marriage, is setting up your own family. So there's that route that human beings go through. So he needs to understand and to leave his kiddish ways behind. So that now he can grow mentally. He can see that there's a transformation. There's a very big change. And you'll find people who do it later, you will find the kids actually change quite a bit. They understand that now I'm no longer a kid. I'm matured. I can make a girl pregnant. I can, because now you see it also goes with those conversations where you're telling him, okay, now you're going to start seeing girls, they're looking nice, and even them they'll start
from a different angle.
Yeah. They start telling you, honey, now you see, now you start explaining, if you guys have sex, unprotected sex, this is what can happen. Before even you go to high school, you can end up being pregnant. You can. So that conversation comes with the responsibility of being a young man. Yeah, so that's.
So my question is, this masturbation, when they start it, so are you saying that I shouldn't stop it? I let them.
We were taught it's a sin.
So
I know.
So maybe
you see.
Maybe I can rephrase her question. So what is a mom's role
in that bit?
In that period of time?
Masturbation.
Not my role. Not. I'm not just saying about me. Let's say it's me as a parent, as whether I'm a mom or a dad.
Yes.
Should I stop my son? Like if I discover, okay, this my 11-year-old.
He's masturbating.
He's doing sin. Yani, he's going to hell.
You see that conversation is basically...
The fire is at the door.
Yeah.
The hellfire.
He's going to be the matchstick.
You see, you have to have that conversation where you're saying, look, I mean, if it was G, I'd just tell him, look, a guy, I know you're... I know what you do in the bathroom. It's not just showering.
The Aramis, the soap is...
The soap and the Aramis. I just tell him, by the way, it is in your best interest to have that under control. Yeah, because you see, look, the guys...
Does that control look like?
No, you see...
You don't want him to feel nice.
No, you see, unless you stop...
Naturally, it needs to happen. So
it needs to happen. You see, if you stop feeding the guy protein or not, it's still going to be produced, right?
Yes.
Higher. So the guy, if he doesn't masturbate, he's going to have a wet dream. It's just, what I'm trying to say is have it under control. Don't make yourself this selfish person, you know. You want to get off, you want to jack off all the time. It's
when you really must.
Yeah. When
must.
things are tight and... otherwise, even high school will be a problem. You go to the shower, and you know, like us guys when we were in high school, there was no partitioning. In fact, I went to my old school, they partitioned the showers. I was like,
You couldn't believe it.
How? Us guys, it used to be a keyhole, and you know, those two showers were just popping off the wall.
Yeah.
So there was no privacy. If you're going to start doing your own business, you're doing in front of people.
Everybody. So that guys just know who you are.
But you
see, if they don't, if he doesn't, then he's going to have the wet dreams.
Yeah, he's still gonna get the wet dreams.
So he'll still be in this boarding school. He'll either be cleaning his sheets.
Yeah.
But
I want to follow up on her question.
Yeah.
For instance, if I'm a single mom to boys, how can I have that conversation? Because you know, I'll take you to church and the pastor will say masturbation is a sin.
Yeah.
You know, and then
you'll feel like you're sinning all the time.
You'll feel like you're sinning all the time,
And
because
the
even as
guilt,
yes, and even as adults, we struggle with that conversation just
Right.
because of how we were conditioned.
Yeah.
So what's the role? How would you advise a mom to speak to their young boys?
Yeah, and I'll look at it from how my mom did it. We were 4 boys. My dad died when we were young, so she brought us up literally. And when we got to that point, me and my elder brother, you see, she shipped herself to a counselor. Yeah, now where we could have that conversation. But 9 times out of 10, moms can try and have it if you think you can be able to, put the message across. That's fine. But ideally, it would be good to get a father figure. Get an uncle, a granddad, somebody who, first of all, the kid respects and will take the advice seriously. It's you can try as a mom, but
It won't be the same.
it's not the same.
It's not the same because
No,
also
if you
then
try.
we cannot relate at it.
To
You
the
know what
messages.
will happen is
Yeah.
this, and they're like, how do you know? And you're not.
Huna gadget.
Huna gadgets.
And you see what happened even is like my mom tried. So she calls us to her room. Then the boys sit down and then she starts this long story. You guys you're young men now. Da 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 da. Have you had this discussion with Baba Jimmy? So I'm like, no. So now, you're going to get into a point where you can impregnate someone. You know how people get pregnant? Yes, okay. So she tried to have that, but the
message was not given.
yes. And also the fact that it was not a comfortable conversation.
Yeah, because this is your mom.
This is
and
my
then
mom.
you're
You know,
talking
mother is
about-
the same person who is telling you, let me see you with a girl here.
Yeah.
Where?
But also,
She wants
But
the soft spot.
The
yeah,
soft
but
spot.
also that also brings another angle of then how do you introduce the sex talk to the boys or just in general to our children as a dad? Because now you can't say,
Yeah.
when you touch a girl, because that's what we were doing.
When
You
you
touch
touch
a
a-
boy,
when a
you
boy
get
touches
pregnant.
you. You get
Don't
pregnant.
come with a baby. You're
Yeah.
like, what
How-
does that even
where
mean?
did the baby
yeah,
come
how
from?
did the baby come when
Yeah.
you touch
Yeah.
this
Or
person?
my principal in school told her every man with a trouser is mad.
Yeah.
No, try again. So you go home and I'm like, Nadim, are you mad?
Yeah.
Someone in a skirt. So all
Yeah.
men are mad.
It can be a bit. I think you just need to have it.
Yeah, but how do you?
I think we should do it. Like me and you should do it maybe when G is maybe 11 or 10.
No.
It starts now.
He's 9. He's gonna be 9. Kids are getting more mature earlier. So you see now now do it when it's now, when he's going to be 9 or next year or when he's 11, you see. So
Yeah.
you have to start having that conversation. Not that
break it
full
down
on conversation. You just start now having the the introduction.
So
Even
having
if he
age
doesn't
appropriate.
experience it,
Yeah.
And age
normally
appropriate.
the girls around him,
Yeah,
they
I'm
mature
maturing
earlier.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be explaining.
So he
Actually,
needs
by
to
the
be
way, yeah,
ready.
we can start that conversation with him. Hey, it's going to
Not
be
with
weird.
you.
You have to be in the room.
Amejitoa. But no,
That's
another
a daddy
question.
conversation.
Yeah.
Another question.
Mommy and the gadgets.
Mama and her gadgets. Where?
Another question is, okay, so now we have identified it's easier if I get an uncle to do it. Okay, fine. I get a guy influence,
A
Male
father
figure.
a male figure.
Father figure, yeah.
Father figure.
Yeah.
Who has a conversation with my boy. So what is my role then after? You see now,
No, you know what you know how you do it. This is what I saw our folks used to do, my mom included. So we went for a counseling session. So in the evening, she's just like, okay, so how was your session? That's where the conversation starts.
Oh.
What did you guys discuss? So you've understood this. So now what you're doing is you're affirming.
You're following.
And yes, you're affirming whatever has been talked about. And you don't have to introduce it because he's the person who's going to introduce it. He's the one who's going to say, we talked about sex, we talked about girls, we talked about wet dreams, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
It becomes a bit easier.
Okay. And guys online, IG Live guys, thank you so much for being here. Mudhoni, Kasoa, Ace, we see all of you, Mikala, Noni. Thanks guys. If you have a question for our daddy, if you have a question for our daddy in Kenya, we see you. If you have a question for our daddy, please feel free to put it in the comments. We didn't put our question box. Hizi vitu bado tunajifundisha.
Just put it in the comments.
Just put it in the comments. Yeah. Auntie Kari will read it. Yeah, so I feel like it's so... There's one thing we must say. We do this thing, and forgive me if I'm wrong. If I'm right, love me. It's this thing we do of saying Happy Father's Day to the mothers doing it. We need to stop that. We need to stop that.
Yeah.
We can celebrate responsibility, but we can never play a dad role. And that's why we keep encouraging guys to just be present. Like, it doesn't have to be about me and you. There's ex-husband, ex-wives, ex-boyfriends. There's no ex-parents.
Yeah.
So please, in whichever situation, either a dad or a mom, we can never play the other person's role because he can't experience periods.
Yeah.
So when he's...
Or even just being emotionally being a mother.
Yes.
Not the same person.
Yes, so even when he's talking to his daughter, he doesn't know what that actually feels like.
Yeah.
You know, like us, we are so perplexed about wet dreams.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're so perplexed about masturbation. I'm like, I didn't think people knew how to masturbate until they're older.
No.
Kumbe. And there's an introduction.
I didn't think it's a necessity.
Yeah, you
No,
know.
what happens is that you go through the first session, that first orgasm, and you want to do it again and again. That's why the addiction can come in. So that's why you, as I was saying with Gio, tell him, you know, keep it under wraps. Don't let it fly away. And now
Check on it.
Yeah, put a check on it.
So maybe
you know.
an additional question to that. Since now they're at an age where they have a lot of energy and stuff. So is that why we push them into sports, into doing a lot of sports so that they can expend it?
Yeah.
Yani they are tired, they have no time, they got no time.
In fact,
just tired.
In fact, even like you'd find, that's why you find most high schools, boys' high schools, there must be a serious sports department. You know, activities, football, rugby, tennis, whatever it is, basketball. So that these young guys who have got hormones running up and down are kept in check because now you remember those teaching practice teachers.
The two young ones.
The two young ones from KU.
Oh my God.
You enter in a class full of girls of hormones are just running up and down the back. You have been wekewa the paraffin in the food. Bando the guys are singing.
But let me ask. So, okay, this is coming. The wet dreams are coming. People are going to be masturbating. What is my role as a mom? What do I do?
See now he has said.
See nothing.
Nothing.
Just tell him to
follow up. After the therapy session, the counseling session. Now you follow up.
Have we understood what is happening in your body?
You keep a check on it to see
you keep a check on
becoming
it.
You hide the soap and the RMs.
No, even the one over. Hey, but you're in the shower for too long.
That's true. That's another thing.
Get out. What are you doing in there?
Let
me tell you, it's the smallest.
Do you know I have realized it's coming?
Times.
Do you know it is coming? Because
I can't. At 9, I can't.
No, you just do a group session.
I can't do that.
You can do a group session.
3 times.
Yeah.
We can. By the way, we should just organize a group session
because Jessie is going to be the first.
So Jessie will also be helping you on that. Don't worry.
So I suggest that the 3 of us just do a group session counseling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way. Yeah. And we need to have it come from. What I think is that, like the time we did it, it's somebody who is spiritual but is not Bible
fanatical.
Exactly. Because now you see, you don't want the kids also to start thinking that you're judging them. And then now
you're just going through a
process. Exactly.
Actually, it's a growth spurt, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So you really need to balance that out and make sure.
So this is why traditionally probably or in the rural areas, you reach a certain age, you are there clocking 15, get married.
Yeah.
Marry a chick.
Yeah, or even like the Samburu. They go into the forest.
You go into the bush.
You go into the forest for like a month. But then after that, now you're told to find a wife.
Yeah, the next thing is to get a wife.
Find a chile,
Or, you've already found for a chile. So the chile is brought.
Yeah. But most of the time what happens is that you'd find, like, and I noticed it when we were growing up, my dad would he would involve us more in like male activities. Like let's go slaughter, go together.
Yeah.
Let's go and spend time at Uncle so and so's, so that he's kind of removing us from that mummy environment to an environment where we can ask questions, and we're not asking him. So he's just putting you in a room with other men. You know the one of and he knows these ones you get along. This is your favorite uncle. So now you can now open up and start asking questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I think it really covers the topic even for intentionality. Hey, because me, I'm shook.
And you're glad you're not me.
And you're not dealing with the boys.
Yeah, but you all better take care of the boys because I don't want to be.
Yeah.
You're not ready.
We're not ready, and plus we're not living in a bubble,
Yeah.
Those are my sons.
Yeah, it's true.
We're not living in a bubble. Guys, also take care of, let's raise children in communities. I've heard a lot about community. I feel like modernization has brought a lot of individualized. Sisi na familia to our little. You can't be an uncle to those children. Even Kieni is saying some of the hard conversations he had not with his dad, but through an uncle, So nurture these communities. Yeah. We are still Africans at the end of the day, and community helps. And community protects. There's something your uncle picked about you that your dad didn't.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or there's a loose statement you'll freely say in front of your uncle or your auntie for the girls that you'll never dare say at,
Yeah.
And I feel like our children are exposed to everything so early.
So early.
So early. When I think about when I knew about some topics. Maybe it's because I'm a mom, I'm a lot. But when I think about when I knew about some topics.
Well, it was very late.
It was very, very late.
It was very late.
Yeah.
So also, I think even as he said something about that thing of having... when guys ejaculate, it feels good. So now it got me thinking, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but by the time a woman learns how to orgasm herself,
get herself off.
Yay! It's not even
you're almost in your 40s.
You're almost in your 50s. Because it's not spoken.
It is
about.
not.
And remember, we were told it's a sin.
It's a sin.
So
you're trying to avoid it.
You're trying to avoid it. When you do it, you don't even enjoy it because of how sinful you feel.
Yeah.
And so then when you realize, you're like,
So imagine a teenager has realized that at that age.
At that age, he'll be at it or she'll be at it all day long. It can get to that point.
But also you don't want to call, as you said, selfishness, addiction. You just some things also need self-control. And as you grow older, you realize the what's the word? The importance of self-control with everything in your life, from people to money to So guys, thank you so much, Mama Muthoni, Ruti, Shanice. Thanks all. We see you. If anyone with a question for our daddy, we've been at it for a while, so we need to wrap this up. I think Kieni, like for real, me, I'm shook. Like for real, for real. I don't even have like words, but just to say thanks for sharing your experience.
Karibu.
Guys, I know you've learned. Guys of YouTube, I know you'll watch this and be like, oh my God. The guys on the back have learned.
But they know.
They know.
The crew says they know.
The crew knows.
You see, they're here pretending. We need Kieni because they're pretending. The last time we talked about this, they didn't even mention like it's normal.
By there, you guys.
Now we know these things are normal.
And sex is not a taboo.
Yeah,
sex is
we need
something
to change
we need
that
to talk
in
about.
Kenya.
Yeah.
We need to. I was about to say we need to have sex at the dining table. We need to talk about sex.
Hello.
I think we need to end this.
We need to
I think the guys were in the gutter now.
No, we need to start. We need to normalize.
Have a conversation around it.
Sex education.
Yeah.
Normally. You know the way we've normalized calling our body organs by their actual names?
Yes.
We need to start normalizing sex education at the dining table so that we can be free. We can be free to talk about these things. Then there won't be things in there.
Yeah.
But first, it starts.
My mind, we are having dinner.
But it starts with us as the parents to actually have that conversation and normalize that, because if we are not going to talk about it, our children will take that information from wherever else, and it will not be the correct information.
Or it won't be the one you want for your family. So these guys, these things are normal. I know we were told masturbation is a sin. Lakini, stay tuned for our next topic. Thanks guys, we love you, we appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Comment, like, share. Please subscribe. Our daddy is a superstar also kwa zile mtandao za sports. We'll put his links down here. And thank you so much, Kieni. And God bless you. And see you on the next one. Bye guys.